Warning: tube amplifiers have lethal voltages inside them. Please do not attempt to build, test, or repair these without understanding and following all safety protocols. Hey y'all! Well, time to do an unboxing video. And what do we have here? We got ST70 in the box. This is a kit, as you will see. And let's get this thing unboxed and see what's inside it. Okay, got a little piece of styrofoam there. We've got another piece of styrofoam. Like that. And then we have the chassis. Let's see what this looks like. And that is nice. Now this is polished stainless. The original ones were nickel-plated steel. But like I said, these are polished stainless. And it looks true to the original. It's got all the same printing on it and all that stuff. And they've got some protective film over the top and the bottom of it. Not that I'd be that worried about, the bottom of it, but yeah, it's got the slots around the tubes and all of that stuff. And yeah, looks really nice. So let's continue on and see what's in the box. We'll put that over to the side. And then we got another piece of styrofoam. Let me just kind of tilt this over. Might make it a little easier to get this stuff out. And then we've got some more styrofoam. We've got these three little boxes. We'll open those up. And then I have a feeling this is going to be, here's our instructions. There may be some further instructions in here, but we got this box, and okay, it's like Hey Booers making their transformers. I would assume, unless they're just putting in a Hey Booer box, but pretty sure these probably come a box like this from Hey Booer, and they're just repackaging them as they ship them off to us. So here's the power transformer. Ooh, look at how thick that stack is. This is a much beefier transformer than that ancient one that I recently rebuilt on the channel. And then we have the output transformers. Let's see if I can get these out of the box. Nice thick stack. Pretty heavy duty guys. Got a lot of weight to them. So those are nice looking output transformers. Obviously, it depends a lot on how they're wound. I'm going to hope and assume that they are copies of the originals. But again, once we get through with this project, we will do some testing and we'll see how it performs. And then here's got this one little page. Here's another thicker things of instructions. So that'll be interesting to see what that's all about. And let's get rid of these. Definitely packaged well. And I ordered this kind of special ordered. It's got no tubes. We ordered it with the black board. I know that's not the traditional kind of color for an ST70, but and I hate these self-sticking things. They're kind of a pain to open. Let's see what's inside here. There's a little hardware bag. Got our new choke. Comes with a cord, which we will get into this when we work on this. It comes with a 2-prong non-polarized cord, and we may do something different. but we'll get into that while we're building it. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to say it at the part in every video. This is not sponsored by Tubes for Hi-Fi. Some viewer, Tim, bought this board from Dan at Tubes for Hi-Fi, and so anything that I comment or things that I say, hey, I'm going to build this a little different, this is just me, Skunky, saying how I would build this. If you want to build it the way that it comes in the instructions or in the box, you can do that too. And I'm not going to say they're wrong. I'm just going to say that there may be some things that I want to do differently. So it comes with this, looks like some nice tube sockets. Nice fresh ones, unlike those ones that we used in the old build, which was the old dinosaur ones. Now these are the kind, not the blade type connector that's got the little round that goes around the tube pin. Plus and minus for both of those. In my own builds, I use those Belton blade type that kind of dig into the sides of the tube. These, some people say, have more contact area, so I'm sure these will work fine. So, let's see what else is in here. And this is the big cap that goes on the top that we also are probably going to wire it up a little differently than the instructions say. I liked using a little smaller capacitance after the rectifier tube than the instructions called for. So again, we're going to build this the Skunky way. And feel free to do it however you want, or you feel free to ignore my video if you want, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently than the instructions call for. But this is the 20, 30, 40, 80 little multi-can cap, or not multi-can, but you know what I'm saying. And then there's another little something in here. I'm not sure what's in this little guy. Let's see what we got in here without destroying it. And not sure yet what this is. Oh, this is the little volume control. So I told him I wanted to try his little stepped attenuator. And yeah. Now, I guess my question is, this thing's really small. Is this really a stepped attenuator, or is this a stepped potentiometer? But either way, I want to put a volume control on that, and it comes with a nice, feels like a aluminum knob, solid aluminum knob, and it does have to be pretty small to fit inside this amp, so yeah. We will check that out. As you note, on my previous build, or the rebuild that we did, I used the audio note potentiometer as the attenuator on the front end. And these do come with the 3-terminal speaker jacks now, like I put in my other rebuild, which is nice, because then you can use 4 or 8 ohm, or you can use 8 or 16 ohm, whichever one you want to use. We're probably going to use 4 and 8 ohm because that's much more common. Not many 16 ohm speakers out there, but if you did have some 16 ohm speakers, that's an option. You can put it on the same terminal that the negative feedback connects to. Some people think you can't hook speakers up to the same terminal, but you absolutely can. And then here is our board, and we got our little rubber feet for the chassis. Looks like they maybe stick on. Yeah, I think they just stick on, which is fine. I use little stick-on feet on my amps too. It doesn't need to be some super fancy thing. And that was one thing I noticed on the chassis. Let me look at this again. It does have very limited ventilation slots. like the one that I rebuilt, it didn't have a chassis bottom on it. And I think this is kind of how they come normally. And maybe that's enough ventilation. It seems a little, I don't know. We might do a little mod on that too and add another slot or two. Wouldn't be too hard to do with like a Dremel tool, but yeah, we will look at that when we get to that part of the build. And then here is the board, more instructions. Here are the tube sockets. The last build I put some black ones on, which I thought looked really nice. So we may go ahead and order some black tube sockets to do that deal again. Also, it has gold RCA inputs. And I know that's just kind of an aesthetic thing, but there's nothing else gold on the amp. And it just looks kind of funny to me. And the same people that make these little gold ones like this, Tubes and More or Antique Electronic Supply, AES, has nickel-plated ones, which match the chassis. So we're probably going to order a pair of those too. I did upgrade to the Mundorf coupling caps. These are the .22 UF aluminum oil that I really like the sound of, so we're going to put a set of those in it. Now there's also another pair of coupling caps in the amp that they give you just these little orange drop polyester guys. Going to order some aluminum oil ones to replace these as well. They would be .1 UF. And yeah, there's the little feedback capacitors, and got this bag of resistors, and we got the upgraded Nikon power supply caps, so we're doing the upgrade to that as well. And so I'm basically going to build it just like I did on my restoration amp. And it'd be interesting to see how the instructions for this kit compare to what the OE original amp was built. And then I really like these black boards. I think they look nice. They just, you know, the green is the classic, but I think this black just looks really nice because it, you know, you've got black transformers and stuff, and you know, these tube sockets are black. And again, I'm probably going to get some black tube sockets to put on this board. And I just think it really ends up with a nice clean look, especially if you put some nickel RCA jacks on the front of it. I don't really mind having these gold speaker jacks on the back because you don't really see the back of the amp. So to me, that wasn't really an issue. So anyway, this is what came in the kit. And this is going to be a fun project. I don't think it's going to be that hard to do. We did that rebuild recently on that vintage one, and I think most of the time is going to be dealing with populating this board and getting that mounted. I think the rest of it's going to be pretty simple, just bolting in some tube sockets and bolting down these amps and or transformers and stuff. And the fact that the chassis comes prefabricated is a huge time saver. And also for you folks that, you know, don't have those kind of skills to do that kind of fab work, it makes it possible for you to build it. And I do like, again, having some sort of attenuation on the input. But anyway, hope you're going to enjoy this build. And like I said, I think that we're going to do something else with the power cord. We may put an IEC socket on it, may just get a 3-wire cord and put on it, and use the same, you know, hole in the chassis kind of a thing, or same kind of grommet. Anyway, we'll work on that when we get to it. So if you think you'll enjoy watching this kind of video, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Thanks to all you folks that regularly tune in, join my Patreon, make donations at my site. Thanks to folks like Tim that commissioned me to build this for him, and so you can watch it on the channel. And when we get done with it, we're going to test it versus the old school one on the audio analyzer and see if the performance is actually the same or not. And we'll be using the same tubes in both to try to keep it even. So that'll be fun. So anyway, till the next video, Have a nice day.